This is Think More, aka Adam 241. uh, that's my original account name. But anyway, today I'm gonna talk about Islam and break that down, and got a couple points here. Sometimes I might, talk about Christianity just as a comparative. You know, a lot of people you want to say, how bad Islam is. There's obvious bad stuff in there, with any religion. But a lot of people, you know, the so-called like Trump supporters and stuff, they want to say that we should get rid of Islam. We should make sure that Islam doesn't come to America, and we should have Christianity. And now if you look at Christianity, it's just as bad. I wouldn't say it's worse, but it's pretty bad. And the reason why, and America has always had problems. We still got a lot of problems. Racism is still real. People want to act like, racism isn't still going on, but it's still going on. Anyway, but most of the time the racists kind of stay in their communities and they usually don't bother anybody. So now, if you look at like the biggest criticism that that's going on by criticizing Islam is the woman's role, and the woman's role in the society. Now, in a Christian household, the woman is usually going to be like the mother. She's going to be the mother to kids. Like if you have kids, you're automatically a mother. That's who you're going to be. Now, if you look at the movie, I think it was like Pleasantville. If you notice, when the community didn't really get mad until the woman revolted, until the woman said that I don't want to just be a homemaker. That's when the community revolted. When it was just the kids, it wasn't really a big deal. When it was the men, nobody made a big deal. But as soon as the women said that they didn't just want to be homemakers and mothers and cook for you, clean for you, that's when the community revolted. People can understand, like, the community didn't revolt when the kids revolted. They didn't really care about that too much. They was kind of expecting that. When the men revolted, and also the men didn't really revolt anyway. It was really, they really got mad when the men were revolting along with the women. The women revolted and the men went along with it. Some of the men went along with the women revolting and not wanting to be housewives. Now, you can be a housewife if you want to. If that's what you want to do, then do that. But don't tell women that if they don't do that, if they don't want to be that, then now it's a problem. So, in Muslim societies, the woman's role is to take care of the kids and to look after the household. In a Christian society, the woman's role is to take care of the household and take care of the kids. Now, if you have fun with that and that's what you like doing, then you can do that. I've seen a lot of women that do it and they're pretty happy. Some women do it and they're not happy. So, and like I said, the problem with the community is you got a lot of women telling you to do this stuff, but they don't never do any of it. So they tell you to do it, but they don't do it. So in Islam, the woman's role is to have sex with his husband and to take care of the kids and take care of the household. Now, that's the same role as Christianity. The woman's role in Christianity is just about the same. We say, well, they don't stone them to death when they do something wrong, and I don't know, man. You verbally abuse them when they do something wrong. You say, well, we didn't kill them, so that's different. So your difference is you don't stone the women when they do something wrong. Okay, I guess that's their difference then. Now, another point, like why they don't like Islam is Muhammad. Now, it depends on who you talk to. There's like three different Muhammads. It's like, there's some people believe that Muhammad married Aisha when she was 18. Some people believe that Muhammad did have sex with Aisha when she was 8. Some people believe that Muhammad adopted Aisha when she was 8, and then when she turned like, I guess like 18 or I guess 15, that's when he had sex with her, married her. So he didn't really marry her yet. He'd adopted her as kind of like her daughter, or I guess like an orphan. And then when she grew of age, that's when they got married and everything like that. So that's the third version. First version of Muhammad is that he married Aisha when she was 18. Second version of Muhammad, she married Aisha at 18, had sex with her, had married at 8, had sex with her at 8. Yeah, that was the second version. Third version is he married her at 8, then she grew up to be of age, and then he had sex with her. Okay, that's the three versions. The first one, the 18 thing, that was pretty cool. That sounded pretty cool. But that's like the revised version. But see, the problem, like they say, is that this is the version that we probably should use. But most of the stuff that goes on in Islamic countries, they're using that second version of Muhammad. Of you can marry someone at 8, and then you can have sex with her at 8. Now, some Islamic societies do that. Not all, though. Hashtag not all. Not all Islamic societies do this. And then, instead of analyzing what they say, we gotta analyze what they actually do. Now, some societies do this, but you gotta understand, why do they do this? Why do they feel as though that they can marry a child at 8 years old? Now, a lot of it's brainwashing. The same reason why you would give your daughter dolls and you'll give your boys, trucks or something, like toy trucks. You want your boy to be a leader. You want your boy to be maybe a truck driver. You want your boy to be a builder. That's like Tonka trucks or something like that. You give your kid Legos. Like, you don't give your daughter Legos. You give your daughter like Barbie's dream house. You give your daughter like dolls and stuff. Now, the reason why you give your daughter dolls is because you want your daughter to know how to take care of a baby. So at a young age, you're already socializing and teaching your daughter how to take care of a baby. Now, I don't know why, you can't do that with the boy. Like, why can't you give your boy dolls too, so he can know how to take care of a baby? So it's kind of weird, right? That we give certain things to boys, we give something to girls, but shouldn't they both know this stuff? It's not fair, right? It doesn't come about a good society. People say, well, we were better in the 50s, but were we? Like, during the 50s, we had Jim Crow. We had black people were still 3/5 of a human being. We had race riots. We had racism. Whites, the cops were definitely racist. And hangings, and it was crazy during that time. And this was supposedly the time where we was the best. So, and it was majority white. We were the most racist, though majority white, and we were the most violent during majority white. So, what was so great about me being majority white? Anyway, so you got Muhammad, and you got uh, three different versions of Muhammad. Let's see, the women's role, the man's role, the kid's role. Uh, the women's role is to be mothers, caretakers, stuff like that. The man's role is to protect. The man's role is the ones who take all the chances. Um, who are they're the soldiers, they're the warriors, they're the leaders, they're the generals, they're in the army. They gotta know how to carry a gun, they gotta know how to fire a gun, and they gotta know how to fight. And they have to be, fit too. So the man's role is to be the warrior, the protector, and because the male, I would say that men and women are can be just as smart as each other, but the physical characteristics are still different. Men are still stronger than women, and women are still more flexible than men. So that's a scientific fact and can be proven. But the whole they can't be as smart as us, that's not really proven. Um, because that because during the 50s, can you remember like any woman doctor? um, can you even I guess there were black doctors, like black doctors in black communities, but can you remember any woman doctor, any woman dentist, any woman lawyer? It was like none. It's like if there was one, then let me know because I don't know any. But now, I mean, you have all types of women lawyers, you have women judges, you have women cops, you have who need help from time to time because they're not physically strong as men. And you have women doctors, women dentists. Man, I see plenty of women dentists, plenty of women doctors. So to say they couldn't do it is false. So it was all the culture. The culture was telling them they couldn't do it. And now that the culture's saying that nah, they can do it too. If they want to do it, then they can do it. And it's proven that they can do it. And why would you even want a society where women are weak? Wouldn't you want your women to be strong? Wouldn't you want your women to make their own decisions? I mean, do you really want to be in any situation, any troubling situation, where your woman can't do anything in this situation, where she's depending on you 100% to protect her, and she's not going to do anything? Isn't that the problem? What they're having with women is that, is that they don't know what they're doing. They don't know how to be mothers. They don't know how to strive and to drive for for the top, for better careers, better degrees, stuff like that. Isn't that our problem? Is that we're calling them women stupid? They're not as smart as men. Maybe that's the problem. Is that we should want to encourage women to do things. Like, what's the big deal? Why are you so threatened by women? It's almost like you're just proving the point that women can be just as capable as men, and you know that, and you purposely you make them weak on purpose, so so they won't be a threat. So you make them weak on purpose. You know they're a threat. You think they're a threat, but they're not. They're here to help, but you think they're a threat, and you think they would be a threat. So you purposely uneducate them on purpose, so they won't get in your way. And that's crazy. That's stupid. So in Christianity, even in Islam, the woman's role is pretty small and limited, and it's not good for the woman. And so anyway, so now you got the veil. Um, if you think about it, well, people understand there's two veils. People don't understand that. People think there's like this you got the hijab that like covers like this, like covers just the hair, and then this veil thing is crazy, but you can break it down. It's crazy. You got the veil that covers the whole body. That's crazy. And then you have the veil that just covers just like the hair or whatever. You got some veils that all you see is just this, and you got veils that you got there's different ways you can do this stuff. Some Muslim women they have tattoos and stuff. Some of them got like their nails, and they got their makeup. It depends on where you're at. If you're in Saudi Arabia, I think you can wear makeup. If you're in Afghanistan, you probably can't. But hey, I mean, you're wearing a full veil. Who knows you got makeup on anyway? So I guess the makeup is just for you, I guess. So and I've heard in some like even Iran that it's not all the same. You go into a beach and you see women in the full garb, and you see women wearing bikinis and stuff. So it's like a lot we don't really know about these societies. Some are like policed by the religious police. Some are more strict than others. I mean, just like America, you have streets that are safe, and you have streets that are not. You have streets that you can go down, and streets that you cannot. There's like conservative communities where every shop shut down at 9 o'clock. I've been in these communities. Like, if you want to go to like a restaurant at 9 o'clock, you can't because everything is closed. Because it's a religious town. It's basically curfew, just to keep people off the streets. So, you got this veil, right? You got two of these veils. Now, I'm not gonna go into the hijab and whatever. I might whatever, but there's two veils. You have one veil that covers the body. Now, the reason why they do this is not because of the woman. It's really because of the man. It's really a gripe on the man. The man can't control his desires, so we have to cover the woman. So if you think about it, a lot of Islam is actually bad for men. Because the men have to be the warriors, the men have to do all the risky stuff, and the men, if you notice that when it's just like extreme Islamic societies, when they kill the gays, they don't kill gay women, they kill gay men. Because they see gay men as a threat to society. But anyway, you have two veils. One veil that covers the body because the man can't control his desires, and we got to cover the woman. So that's a gripe on men. That's saying that men are so weak that they can't control their urges. And there's another veil. Now, if you talk to Islamic scholars, the real ones, I would say talk to black Muslim scholars. Don't talk to Arabs because they'll give that other version. If you talk to black Muslims, they'll tell you the reason why there's another veil. There's a when you enter your friend's house and the woman is like in the back room changing, or the woman, let's say, is in her room, you put up a veil for privacy. Because you don't want nobody looking at your wife, and your woman, she might be changing back there. She might be, resting back there. She wants her privacy, so they'll put up like a veil so the woman can have her privacy. And also, another form of the veil is to say that, and I would say the veil, like I said, is too extreme. I think the veil should only be used when the woman is married. So the women that are not wearing the veil, that means they're available. And the women who are wearing the veil, they're the ones who are married. Those women are married. That's how you will know who are married. And I've noticed that the black Muslims, carry this tradition. The black Muslims that are not married, they don't really dress up that much. But the black Muslims that are married, they wear, the full garb and everything. They wear the veil and everything. They dress all up to let you know that they're married. And the ones that are not married, they got their hair hanging out and everything. They ain't wearing no veil. I've been around these Muslims. When they're not married, a lot of them are not married. They don't wear a veil. They don't wear nothing. My mom, she's not married. She's a widow actually. She doesn't wear the veil because she ain't married. And she's done with marriage. So she ain't wearing the veil all the time except for like occasions or whatever, like feast or whatever. So I think the problem with the veil is that they're not using it right. When people enter your home and you have the veil up or a wall or a door, you lock the door because your woman needs to be, she wants to be to herself. She don't want to be dealing with company yet. She's resting, she's chilling back there. You leave her alone. She wants to be left alone. So they put a veil up. That's fine. And if you apply this to Christianity, the veil's still there too. They just do it in a different form. If you think about it, the wedding ring is a veil. The wedding ring, they use these wedding rings as kind of like, it's like kind of like protection. So if you wear a wedding ring, to leave that woman alone. To leave that man alone. He's married, stay off that dude. And so people might break that tradition and see the wedding ring as, I'm gonna go after that dude because if he's married, then he must be a good guy. But originally, what the ring was, I think, I don't know, the marriage ring might have been like kind of like property, kind of like that's probably what it really was used for. But it evolved to something else where it was more about. It was basically, leave that person alone. Don't flirt with that guy. Don't hit on that guy. Don't hit on that woman. She's married. So it's kind of like a veil. And also Christian women, they don't wear veils, but they're supposed to dress appropriately. They're not allowed to show too much cleavage. They're not allowed to wear too much makeup. They're not allowed to wear short dresses. Or even sometimes they're not even allowed to show their arms. So yeah, if you're showing too much cleavage, you ain't being Christian-like. If you have short dresses, you're not being Christian-like. So it's like they have their own rules too. And the reason for that is to protect women and to control men, to make sure that men are not taking advantage of women. So like I said, it's a gripe on men again. Men are so weak that they can't control their urges. See how religion is not good for either one? The women are not allowed to be free, and the men have to constantly be controlling their urges. And like I said about the gays, the reason why Islam doesn't like gays is because they're the Muslims believe that the role of men and women is to breed and keep the species going, create families, raise the children right, create communities, create societies, keep the society going. That's what we're supposed to be doing. Now, like I said, that's kind of like a basic thing. That's not even religious. That's just a basic, like, natural thing. That, the way to keep the society going is you have to breed. But over time, like you said, the more knowledge you get, and you realize you don't really need that many kids. But they see gays as a threat to that society. Now, that's not really an Islamic thing. That's just really just the way they think their society wants to be. The way to keep it going. They see as kind of like a. They also see it. They see what it's like. They give you a wife, right? They give you a wife to have sex with. You decide you don't want to have sex with that wife that they gave you, and you want to have sex with men. They see it as an insult that they give you something, and you say, you know what? I don't want that. I'm not attracted to that. I'm attracted to men. I'm not attracted to women. I don't want to have sex with women. I want to have sex with men. They see that as an insult. They give you a woman. You can have sex anytime you want, and they say that they see that as an insult that you don't want your woman. So that's why they see men. That's why men are more of a threat when they become gay than women. See, women, they're not really having sex, really, if you think about it, with the woman. It's really just whatever. It doesn't matter because they can still have sex with their man. They can still, so it doesn't matter. But when they see a man stop doing something, they see it as a threat. If a man is stopped creating children, then he's stopping the society. Because they see women as children anyway, and they can just get what they want from them anyway. So they don't see women what they're doing as a threat. They see men what they're doing as a threat, because that he's stopping society from continuing. So that's why they. So if you think about it, again, men still have it bad in this society, in this scenario. They can't control their urges, so we got to cover them women up. You know, they're gonna, if they become gay, then the threats to society, because they're not breeding no more, they're not continuing the society, the community, so we got to take them out. And they got to be the soldiers, and they got to take all the risks, and they got to blow themselves up, and they got to do stuff. So the man's role is pretty messed up. All right, let's see. Like I said, war. In war, men have to take all the risks. You know, they start at really young ages to be soldiers, to learn how to shoot a gun, to learn how to fight, to protect other men. So it has to become like a camaraderie. So men are usually around other men anyway. So, you know, if you got men around other men all day, yeah, eventually these men are gonna love each other. What I'm saying, you know, because they have more emotional connection with men than they do with women. So if they have more connection with men, I don't know, man. Eventually they probably would end up gay, because you know what I mean, they have, because a woman is they don't. Most of the time, the men don't have an emotional connection with the woman. The woman is just almost like a glorified maid. You know, there's no emotional. They're not marrying these women for love. They're marrying her because she's just the one that's going to take care of the kids. So there's no emotional connection. So it's inevitable that he's probably going to end up gay. But not all men. Men can have emotional relationship with other men and not be gay. It just, you know, you're setting them up to be gay though. Anyway, so yeah, women are not really. They don't really have to do the whole war thing, and these wars been going on for like hundreds of years, man. You got people dying over dumb stuff, just land, and I don't know. I doubt it's even about religion no more. I think these people just hate each other, and they've been hating each other for so long that, you know, they just, this is just what they do. It's kind of like gangs. Gangs be hating, Bloods and Crips be hating each other for no reason. Sometimes people say, well, you know, it's because they're fighting over territory. You know, because of the drug war and everything. They're making money off of drugs. But America's pretty big, man. I'm pretty sure you got enough territory. You know, I mean, so it's just people fighting. You don't even know why they fighting. I don't really know. I go to Sharia. I don't really know much about Sharia, but I think, well, people understand Sharia is different in different countries. Some Sharia might be because even though like like they say that alcohol is prohibited, people still drink. Or they might say, well, like people are saying, alcohol is forbidden, but cigarettes isn't. And I think drugs too. Drugs are not really prohibited in Islam because it wasn't really around yet. Or I don't know. It was probably drugs was probably like a normal thing. It was probably just a plant. So I don't think it was really a problem because the Quran was written like a long time ago. So drugs. It didn't say. I don't think it says anywhere in the Quran you can't do drugs. But it does say something alcohol. You can't drink alcohol. But of course, people do it anyway. Just because you're not allowed to do something doesn't mean people ain't gonna do it anyway. So, alcohol and pork and all that stuff is prohibited. But people are gonna do it anyway. So you got to make up some type of court system. So when people break these laws. Now, in some situations, like some places, they might have Sharia laws for women driving or whatever. They might have Sharia laws on how they should treat the children. They might have Sharia laws on who's going to get property in divorce. They might have Sharia laws on can women get educated or can women work? Can women be in government? So some societies are stricter than others. Some societies where women have more freedom. So people say, well, Sharia law is pretty messed up. But I don't know, man. We have some laws in America that's pretty messed up. I mean, think about it. We got stop and frisk, right? That law is pretty racist. Of course, white people say that ain't racist. The cops are not racist. It's the law. They have to do it. It doesn't matter if they're not racist. If it's the law and the captain says you got to do this, then they do it. It's a part of their job. They might be racist, but the law is. Even though they have to enforce the law. So let's break down stop and frisk. Now they do this in Islamic societies too. They stop women or they stop men. They when a woman is walking around by herself, they stop and they check her and they see, oh, where's your husband? Where's your brother? Where's your dad at? What man is with you? They do that too. They do that in Islamic societies. And sometimes they might frisk you too. They might check you. They might grab you. So, is America really better than these Arab countries? Think about it though. You're walking along in New York, you're black, most of the time when they stop and frisk, they're mostly stopping and frisking blacks and Hispanics. They ain't stopping no Asians. They ain't stopping no white people unless they look crazy. But most of the time they're stopping black people, thug-looking people. And then people might say, well, just don't dress like a thug. Wait, okay, calm down. You're stopping me because of my dress? Okay, isn't that the same thing? You're criticizing the reason why you want to stop women in the veil. Women's wearing that veil. She can't wear that veil. if she don't want to be stopped by the cops in France, maybe she shouldn't wear that veil. Maybe she shouldn't wear those clothes. Oh, come on. You know good well that's racist. So if one is not racist because it applies to blacks, and you somehow think there's no racism towards blacks, but you could do this racism toward Muslims. And 90% of the Muslims do not do any terrorist attacks. And you say, well, one is enough. Yeah, it's true. One is enough. But we got our own problems. We got our own sexism going on. And can we really criticize Islam? Because we have our own racism still going on. Stop and frisk is totally racist. You're walking along, your cop stops you because you look like a thug, and he stops to frisk you, and he has drugs on you. And if you notice stats, white people actually do way more drugs than blacks. So I don't know why stopping black people is even, it's not even logical. Because whites do more drugs than blacks. So they're committing more crimes than blacks. So stopping frisk is totally racist. And I guarantee if it happened to you, you wouldn't be cool with it. If stop and frisk was for whites only, I guarantee you'd be calling racism. But stop and frisk is the same thing as stopping a woman because she's wearing too much clothes. And it's kind of ironic how we tell a woman that she's wearing too much clothes, and these same women are shaming other women who dress like sexy that they're not wearing enough clothes. Anyway, so if you break all this stuff down, you get to society. And why they do this? Why is their community so violent? People might apply that to black communities. Why is the community so violent? Why do they do certain things? Well, the reason why. Well, first of all, because men are taking all the risks, men are the ones who lead into the society. So they think when they do all these things, the women's role, the man's role, the kid's role. The kid's role is to listen to their mother, listen to their father, do their homework, do their studies, go to school, play every once in a while, be a kid, don't steal, and respect your email. Basically, that's the kid's role. The kid is somewhat free. The kid is not that free either because he's at risk too. Because it's dangerous to society from bombing and then also what they're doing. It's a because the Shiites and the Sunnis they hate each other, so kids are probably told if the kid is a Shiite, watch out for those the Sunni or whatever. So it's kind of like a gang thing. Watch out for the boogeyman, kind of stuff. Don't go in the woods, Hansel and Gretel type stuff. But I would say the kids are kind of free, but they're told you can't steal, and you have to listen to authority. So kids are somewhat okay, but in certain societies, he's not. In certain societies, kids at a young age, they have to be child soldiers. They have to learn how to use a gun, and they gotta learn how to fight. And they have to be men like really young, like 8. At 8, they have to be acting like men almost. But of course, it doesn't work out because kids are kids. Kids are the same in all societies. You tell them to do something, they're gonna do it anyway. You tell them to not do something, they're gonna do it anyway. No matter what you tell them. You can raise your kids right, and you still turn out the way you don't want them to be. So the reason why they have these societies is because this is the way they think that their society should be run. They think that men and women, their main job is to breed and keep the society going. If you don't make laws, if you don't make the laws strict enough, then people won't do them. So this is the reason why fascism starts. It's because when people start getting lazy, when people start getting free, when people start making their own decisions, and they start rebelling, then you're not going to create the society that you want. So they start slavery, they start communism because they're trying to force people to do something. They're not doing it on their own, so we got to force them to do it. They've been doing this for a long time. We can't keep people to stop murdering people. Okay, we're going to have to make a law to punish people, to force them to not want to murder people. We're going to have to force them. We're going to have to scare them. So, no, you can't do this. So, to keep the society going, they have to make sure the women And the women are in check, the men are in check, the men are supposed to be men, the women are supposed to be women, the kids are supposed to be kids, and the government is supposed to be this. The religion keeps us from doing this. We're not supposed to do this. We're not supposed to do that. And that's the way we keep the society going. We keep it prosperous. So this is the way they think they should do it. You might say it's wrong, um, but they don't care about that. All they care about is making sure society is functional at all times. Now, if you compare it to Christianity, it's pretty much the same. you know, not too long ago, you know, Christians were saying that gays were going to hell. And not too long ago, Jim Crow was like 50 years ago, and we were supposedly the most Christian and religious society. And Jim Crow was ended in like 64. That's only like 50 years. 50 years is like my mom. My mom's, I'm like over 30 years old. My mother had me probably, I think she had me like at 20 or something. So when my mother was, when my mother, so my mother went through Jim Crow, like the endings of Jim Crow. She was young when it was going down, but when it was being ended. And do you really think that when they ended Jim Crow, that all the white people was like, yeah, we gonna stop being racist today? Like, you really think that happened? Like, these white people are so naive and stupid that they really think because they ended Jim Crow, that Jim Crow and all the people's mind state, and way they was thinking and way they was doing, that the whites decided we're not gonna call anybody N-word no more. Like they did, that's the day they stopped being racist. You know what? Good and well, it took about 10, 15 years for whites to put whites in check to say, nah, you can't do this no more. You can't be racist no more. Cops can stop being racist. You gotta stop doing this. You can't discriminate no more. Whatever. It's the same way as slavery. Slavery ended, but you didn't know when slavery ended, there was still slave masters going around claiming they slaves. They were still going around trying to keep it going. Matter of fact, the only reason why the slave masters probably stopped slavery because the war cost so much money and the economy was we were bankrupt so much because of the war, because it cost so much and so many people were killed. So yeah, that's probably why they didn't keep it going, because they probably burned crops, all kind of stuff was happening. But this whole well, we stopped it. Why are you still talking about it? What? I mean, it's like, wait, so you want us to forget our history and you say it's not a big deal. It was 50 years ago. It's not going on now. You want us to forget our history, but we can't forget yours? You want to talk about your history all day. We should promote your history and everything like that. We should remember George Washington and Thomas Jefferson and all that crap. But when we want to talk about our history, no, it's the problem. We can't talk about that more. You need to get over it. Well, you need to get over George Washington then. You need to get over Thomas Jefferson. You need to stop talking about that. It's not relevant no more. These guys have been, they've been dead a long time. It's not relevant no more, right? You shouldn't be talking about it. Okay. If we shouldn't be talking about our history, you shouldn't be talking about your history. You shouldn't even be bringing it up. You shouldn't even be caring if they didn't want to destroy Thomas Jefferson, statue or something like that. It's history, right? It's not a big deal. It's not going on no more. Shouldn't matter. Anyway, so people want societies to be a certain way because they want society to function the way they want it to always function. So you might think it's strict, but this is the way they think it should be run. Now, I don't know when it's going to happen, but eventually, if nobody checks them, if we don't check our own history. We don't check even Christianity. The reason why Christianity is not doesn't have an effect on society much anymore is because over 90% of Christians don't even read the Bible. If they read that jank, you'll if you go into I think it was Deuteronomy, right? There's this verse in there that says if a woman gets raped, she has to marry her rapist. So is Christianity better than Islam? Nope. Ain't better at all. So all these people, you got all these people in the community talking about we need Christianity instead of Islam. No, we don't. We don't need that either. I think love our neighbor. I don't know, man. That's kind of dangerous. Love our neighbor is dangerous because it's almost like, man, you can conquer so many people with that love our neighbor thing. Love your enemy. That's basically how they conquer countries all the time. You gotta love your enemy, you gotta love your neighbor, regardless of who he is. He can do anything he wants to you, but you gotta love him anyway. I don't know about that.